What is up, everybody? Welcome to SHANTH ENJETI Art. I am SHANTH ENJETI, and I am here doing some painting, folks. And I have to tell you something today. As you might have no doubt guessed from the thumbnail, that I am, I'm in a positive mood. Now, I am sometimes been known to be in a positive mood. An aspirational mood, perhaps. A mood of encouragement and optimism, but this is something that this is something that there's a little bit of a little bit of passion behind this morning, because I was sitting here and I was looking at artwork and I was looking at all the stuff I was doing, and I thought to myself, one, how fortunate I am to be here with you guys. My man Stephen Rockwood is in the house. Hang on a second, and I gotta say hey to my channel members. Let me backtrack a bit. Thank you, Stephen Rockwood, the first channel member. So for all of you guys here who are channel members, something I want to make sure I say. I updated the credits, so all of you newly minted channel members, you guys are going to be here. We've got Simply Green in the house. We've got John in the house. We have got channel member Mark's Music Obsession in the house. We have got Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 in the house. We have got, did I miss anybody? Michael Bancroft, channel member Rockstar, and person whose work I'm going to be talking about today as I paint. And my brother, channel member Rocky Ballesteros. Yo, I just feel like I saw you guys. Yes, you did. So let's talk turkey, shall we? Let's talk art. Let's talk about all of the amazing things out there. I started thinking about art the other night. I was watching some interesting stuff, and I had a very peculiar experience this morning. A very, very peculiar experience that I wanted to share with you guys. I woke up, went to my desk, got stuff sorted, was preparing to work, when all of a sudden I felt an inexplicable, positive feeling. I felt like I was sort of standing up straight. I was straighter. Everything was crisper. I was at peace, and I had absolutely no reason for that to be the case. I could not think of a reason other than that I had a migraine yesterday, and it's the euphoria of post-migraine, but that's the closest I could come to having some kind of explanation for it. And I sat around for a good deal in the morning trying to figure out, what is it? Stephen Rockwood, this is for you. And welcome, Lux Disaster. It's great to see you. I started trying to figure out what it was. And then I had a sobering thought, guys. Cats and kittens, boys and girls. I had a sobering sort of thought, and that was this. That if I had had an inexplicable negative feeling when I woke up this morning, I wouldn't have paid any mind to it. I'd have just gone, what are you going to do? And I guess that's one of the things that sort of hit me hard as I was sitting here and I was thinking about what I'm doing, what's involved in what we're doing here, what we're celebrating when you guys are here. And let me adjust that light because I'm painting a very light tone, so I want to make sure that you guys can see it. I started thinking about how important it is for us, I swear this light's going to be the death of me, how important it is for us to feed ourselves with something, Stephen Rockwood, you know, baby, to feed ourselves with stuff that is positive. And I have not seen the movie. I know some of you might have. But I was a big fan of the director of the Dune movies' work. He did a movie called The Arrival that really hits hard if you're a parent, but also if you love things like language and things like that. And it was just, he's a really incredible artist. And this movie comes out inspired by the works of Frank Herbert, something like Dune, with aspirational characters, complicated characters, a message of adventure, but with really rich depths to it. And people showed up. It's 3 hours. The same thing happened with Oppenheimer. The same thing happened with so many of these movies. And I just started to feel this sense that we are entering a phase where beauty and having some kind of positive ideals is starting to gain momentum. It's starting to gain momentum. People are rediscovering their love. We've got Cranberry Langers in the chat. I'm so sorry I've mispronounced your name for so long. And channel member and Rockstar, Mike TV Dub is in the house. It's great to see you, Mike. Yeah, Dune 2 is Dune-tastic, so I've heard. And you think about this stuff, right? Here's my relationship with Dune. I had no idea what Dune was. I knew it was a movie at some point that came out. But I knew it was based on a book, but I didn't know much about it. And in my second self-published comic book, a comic book called Avant-Garde, that I believe that Rocky has shown on his stream. In the back, one of my good friends from high school, I let everybody write in the back page of the comic book like it was a letters page, but I took it to print with that letters page, wrote, "Fear is the mind killer, Frank Herbert." And I absolutely loved that. I absolutely loved that. And I thought to myself, wow, this goes back to everything. The paths that cross back and forth between people. And so when I'm sitting here writing, Nosfero 2, when I am shipping off Nosfero 1, the thing about it is I am trying to be a champion for several things to the extent of my ability, what it will allow me to do. One of those things is beauty. Another one of those things is the power of good. The power of good is so important, and I can't overstate that, but that is what I'm writing, and that is what I'm trying to do here with this piece of artwork inspired by Michael Bancroft in the chat, the artist-writer behind the Lucent. We're both artist-writers in that sense. And welcome, Gen X Catholic. Speaking of forces of good in this world, it's great to see you, my brother. Let me see here. Let me crack open and cross-check. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Lynch's Dune is the most enjoyable. The sci-fi channels are faithful. Yes, we own those as well. We enjoyed those. And quite nice. The new ones are beautiful, but don't hit the way the other versions do. There you go. And as I often say to people, I trust my Dune fans, of which there are many, and everybody seems to come to the exact same place with Dune. The book got it right. And that's what it's about. What's up, Finatra? How are you doing? Long time no see, brother. It's great to see you. And yeah, I mean, I love this kind of stuff, guys. This is what it's about. I want to make sure that I am painting these things in a way that when you guys back the campaign where this painting is featured, I want it to be something that you absolutely feel you have to do. Because that is what I think about whenever I look at the works of my brothers who are artists and creators in this space. The same thing goes with Battle Brick Road, where I'm doing a piece for that right now, and the same thing goes for Nosfero 2. And I got to thinking about artists that I really admire, of which there are many. And one of them, of course, is Alex Ross. I was thinking about him because when people think about painted comics, they think about Alex Ross. And if I had not known his work, I wouldn't have even considered this was possible, both him and Mobius. But the difference that sort of dawned on me with those two guys or between myself and someone like Alex Ross is doing something beautiful in a sense of the way that Norman Rockwell did, which he's taking something that we know, which is to say America, and he's helping us to look at it. And in a lot of ways, that's what Alex Ross is doing with superheroes. And I guess what occurred to me was that this is different because I am dealing with very new work, very new stories, and I am trying to give it that level that Alex Ross gives these existing icons. I'm trying to bring it to the level of icon, and that's the challenge that I enjoy so much. My brother Jeremy, Ice and Fire in the house. It's great to see you. Our Ludiverse, it is great to see you too. Look at all you fine people. Is he buffering some, or is it my cell network? Well, hopefully I'm not. Gotta grab food, be right back. Let me know, guys. Hopefully our internet has been a bit janky, so you never know. You never know. And we started thinking about this idea, and I started thinking a lot about this idea of why I work with traditional work, why I do the things that I do. What's up, Dean? How are you doing? Good day, Dean. It is great to see you, Comics Mate, another artist in the house. And I started thinking about why I am, why I'm driven to work the way I am, why I'm driven to do all this stuff. And because I think that there's a responsibility that all artists have to bring a certain amount of poetry and a certain amount of beauty that is eternal, that is beyond time. And we pass on these traditions, and you guys make sure these traditions do not die by making sure that we have the money for brushes, and paints and backing the books and all of that stuff. And that's one of the things that is so inspiring about doing this. I am doing work right now on this project, on this painting here, which this is it. This is the last day. I'm working on this thing. I think we're there. It's got to be. And there's something about bringing your A game and showing people an alternative way to do things, which is to say we don't have to be negative, we don't have to be nihilistic when we're doing our work. And so I've been thinking about, not only is the sequel to Nosfero a step up in terms of my commitment to the power of ideals, the power of good, and then showing them in a way that speaks to a reader. That's all going up for the second book. What's up, Lloyd Burton, channel member Rockstar? It's great to see you. I have not seen Shogun yet, Jeremy, but I hear it's great. I was gonna watch your stream about it. Yeah, Donald DeLay's book right there. Stephen Rockwood dropping more links than Oscar Mayer. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, the best work, barring exceptions, comes from artists who like the things they're working on. Yes, and I think that, gosh, I look at all of you guys, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, modern art has to be forced on people. It assaults their senses. True, beautiful art needs no convincing. You're absolutely right. Oh, I can't wait to see it then, Jeremy. And so I've been seeing a lot of people who, an audience in particular, who seem to have had enough of the kind of hopelessness and the feeling down. And I guess this painting it's about so many things. It's about my friendship, with Michael Bancroft. It's about my love and respect for the work that we're doing and how much goes into it. But there's this particular aspect to this. Let me see if I can, sorry for the clatter. There's a particular moment right here in this book that I wanted to show you, or in this painting that I wanted to show you guys, that really is important to me and speaks to the things that I connected with when I was doing this painting. And it's the collapsing of Gilgamesh upon these stairs in this shot. And there's no water in the stairs in the book, of course. This is very metaphorical, but the thing that really got me about this is the idea of, being washed up after this time of chaos, this time of search, to be washed up on the shores where wisdom is and where knowledge is, or where the hope of those things is. And that was what inspired me so much when I was working on this thing. That's the thing that sort of drives what I do and what I'm about when I'm doing this work. And I could think of, let me just move this up just a little bit so you guys can see even more of it. But I started thinking about that as being what is driving what I do, that quest for poetry, that quest for, making work that speaks to the soul. And so, yeah, that's one of the things I've been working on. And I just woke up feeling, and I mean this sincerely, I'm not trying to say this to be funny, with no real reason I could point to for why I was feeling positive. I have so much work to do. I have so many things ahead of me. Just everything, getting tax stuff together, all of that different stuff that my amazing wife and I helps more than helps me to do, and collecting all of that stuff and just trying to balance all of these things. And yeah, I can't really speak to it. I think that the reason why I do this, the reason why I come into this space to talk to you guys, is because the sharing of art and the sharing of this conversation, so many of you guys are fans of so many different things. I'm so grateful to have you as fans, as backers, as supporters, as channel members. And I don't know how we make this work, like how my wife and I and our family make this thing work. But I'm so grateful for everything, that all of the support we've been shown. And I'm so grateful that I'm on this road. I can't overstate that I had no idea where this stuff was going. I knew it would be incredibly hard, and it did not disappoint. But every sort of day I get further and further down the road of working on these books, and I see the stories unfolding, and I see, the evolution of my work and its growth in the last, couple of years, if not, now almost 5 years. It's incredible, and it's incredible to be able to share this stuff with you guys. I can't overstate that. You know, I can't understand. I love that we're descending into roast beef sandwich conversations here, which is, by the way, sounds delicious, you know. But so many of us have been, you know, in this space, you know, doing this work. You guys are cracking me up. This will get you familiar with the world of backstory. Check it out later. There you go. Excellent. You guys dropping links. You're awesome. Hey, Admiral is here. It's great to see you, brother, man. I've missed you. Channel member and rock star. I love it, man. Yeah, you dropped that A, man. I am so glad to see it, brother. I love seeing you, your familiar face in the chat, man. Always makes me happy. So yeah, man, so let me talk to you guys about some of the cool stuff that's going on and all of the big stuff that's going to be happening with SHANTH ENJETI art this year, guys. So one of the things I've been working on, one of the big things I've been working on is, in addition to working on this, in addition to fulfilling Nosfero and planning for the Second Chance campaign, and I'm going to have an email sign up for that, I've also been going in and working on bit by bit, whenever with my copious amount of free time, on cleaning up and tightening up the story of Springball. And my plan this year is to get the Nosfero Second Chance campaign, and if that is a big success, and if that is, you know, goes where I want it to go and where I hope it'll go, then we're gonna do Springball, and that's gonna be really exciting to do. It is the story has evolved as I've been able to go back and revisit it. The artwork has evolved a lot, and I know what the story is supposed to be about, and spoiler alert, it's about humanity, heroes, hope in every kind of circumstance, and it's just a fun book, man. It is a fun book. Snuggy Jr. in the house. It is great to see you, Snuggy. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, so guys, it's going to be big this year. This is going to be a big year. You know, it's getting all this stuff underway has been huge. It's trying to break the static friction. Cranberry Langer says, I don't know how you would market your books more. Bancroft mentioned webcomics, but I don't think that's the direction you'd like to head into. You know what's interesting is, taxes. Yeah. Everybody has a similar reaction to that. Here's the biggest thing about it, guys, which is that, like with everything, I try to stay focused on the task at hand, which I know all of you guys know all too well. You guys have doing that in your own lives, I'm sure. And things start to happen, things start to change, things start to pick up speed. The hardest part of doing comics and of being in Comicsgate and being in this space is that while the people who bought my art books, which it's great to fulfill them, that they've backed me since, you know, whatever it was, 2018, I don't know when. The great thing about all of this stuff is that now this audience knows that I actually produce a book, and of what quality, you know, the like, is it going to be on cheap paper? Is it going to, I know paper, people say paper is important. Are the color reproductions going to be good? Because I've watched you paint this on stream. Is there going to be a story? Is it going to get done? Now that I've done that, that book is something that is out there, and a lot of people are seeing it, and people are seeing it, and you know, people who've been reaching out to me, and it's great. And you guys are here, and it makes it wonderful. I'm watching Talladega with great interest. Non-comics family talking to comics family. That's awesome. Either they recognize CYBERFROG or they don't. Yep. Yeah. Question is how to get them from there to hear these streams. Yes, indeed. Well, listen, guys. I've been fortunate. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate all your kind words. I look forward to backing Springball when the campaign starts. Sean, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. All of you guys. Here's the thing about it. Is that what I've seen happen with my artwork, what I've seen happen with YouTube, what I've seen happen with all of this stuff, is that there are these big jumps that you have, and then you hit a wall, much like with every learning curve, and then there's these, you work again, almost like you're working from the beginning, and then all of a sudden you'll have this breakthrough, and things will just go, and once they start to go, and once it starts to take on a life of its own, all you've got to do is work on being prepared and ready for that. And that's really how I'm approaching this. I am approaching this from the standpoint of you guys who are early adopters, who are in here and who are backing me early on and getting these hand-signed books, these first printings, all of this stuff, which there's going to be some first printings for a lot more money on the Second Chance campaign if you miss the first printings. You guys getting in now on this stuff are going to be here to witness when that happens. I think about how many people who were in the early, YouTube followers of Townsend's or any of those channels and their products and the great stuff that they were doing since the 70s. I'm preparing myself for when, you're pushing those magnets together and they're opposite, or they're the same, they're same, and then they flip around and it grabs the back. I don't know if any of you guys ever did that when you were kids. But I always say this, is that I'm glad things are happening at this pace, and I'm treating it like, be ready for if things go crazy and accelerate. You're going to want to have a lot of books. You're going to want to have a lot of stuff ready to go. And that's advice that I got from John. John said that a while back. He goes, when people start realizing what we're doing over here, people are going to want to, publishers or whoever else, like book publishers, are going to have interests, and it's going to be very worth your while to have a library of stuff that you've created during this time. And this is the library happening. Yeah, yes, indeed, I love Bruce Lee. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. Amen. Yes, plateaus are why rest is important. Amen. Yes, indeed. Yes, we love the Admiral. Ask them if they want to spend a lot of money. Yes, that's right. Yeah, how to get them from recurrence. Excellent. Just check and make sure I got everything there. So yeah, it's a weird thing. Mike and I were talking not long ago about how you meet different folks and how you have these chance meetings. And one of the people that definitely had an impact on the way that the year went in terms of my artwork and what I did was Razor Fist. He gave me the opportunity to do my first Western painting. And the thing that was crazy about that is that from finding out Razor Fist existed to hearing him talk about pulp and talk about all of this amazing stuff, to me doing that job was so fast when I look back on it. And, that's how this stuff always goes. It feels like the night's never going to end. Not for me, though, because it always ends too soon. It feels like the night's never going to end, and then daybreak happens, and it's on. And I think that's what I'm essentially view this period that I'm in, where it's like dawn is happening right now. This is the dawn of this artwork. It's the dawn of this stylistic, this world, these stories, these narratives. And I guess I felt very, very inspired by that today. Very inspired by being able to show to an audience handcrafted artwork. And all of these paintings, these commissions, I'm going to be selling Razor Fist's painting. He's got first refusal on it, but I'm going to be selling that soon. So people are going to be able to bring these things home, and it's crazy, this stuff. Hey, Shanth, thank you so much. That piece is looking killer. Thank you, Henry Bemis, newly minted channel member. It's great to see you, brother. Okay, yeah, getting it ready for publishers would be good. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of it. May your limits be unknown, and may your efforts be your own. Yes, absolutely. The Killers. Yes, great band. Yes. Love that, man. Yeah. Guys, this is what it's about, man. This is what we're doing. So yeah. So, I mean, it's this morning I was switching over my desk from gouache and fulfillment to acrylic because I've got to clear the decks, so to speak, for it. And it was just, it's great. Whenever I'm doing stuff like that, I try to, be mindful and just kind of, treat it like I'm setting a table for something to happen. And it's the same thing with these streams, guys. Last night, I was updating the channel member credits for all of you guys who are now channel members. I was updating it with current members and all of that stuff. And I thought, you know what? We'll be ready to rock. I've got so much stuff planned for this year, guys. So much stuff, and you guys are going to have it shared with you every step of the way. Make sure you're subscribed. If you are not subscribed, make sure you like this stream. That does help it get out there, guys. Ain't too proud to beg, as they say. But it's crazy. We've got so much cool stuff planned. Shanth Enjeti art is the plans that I had for my work weren't possible before we had everything we have technology-wise. The fact that I can show the process of what I'm doing with high-resolution cameras, all of that stuff, it's changed the game. And as a result of that, the fact that we can now have the opportunity to choose between, the dross out there and beauty, I will bet on beauty every single time. That's the way I would approach it. The sublime, the elegant. That's what we're here to do. And do not let yourself ever be disheartened by any noise going on anywhere. Keep yourself focused on the things that you do and seek out beauty. I was talking to my brother on the phone today, and one of the things that really got me in our conversation is I said, do you realize, because I have dyslexia, and one of the things I was thinking about was the fact that because audiobooks are all over YouTube, a lot of them are in the public domain, read by LibriVox and places like that, I have access to all of the great literature that's ever been written that's out there. I can buy audiobooks of Dune. I can get access to these things instantly and listen to these things and enjoy these things. And it's just wild. And independent creators can get out to a global audience. This is crazy what we're doing. This work right here is for someone living in Australia. It's incredible. I love this stuff, man. I love this stuff. What's up, Phil? My brother Phil is in the house. It's great to see you, man. Yes, you gwashed my book. That's right, I did. I gwashed your book, Mr. Monkey Boy. 100% right. Yeah. Others might see... sorry, let me click on this. Gosh. Others might see CYBERFROG and wonder, who is this awesome character, and why isn't this on shelves? Yes, I agree 100%. Same thing with Spawn. Same thing when he had the funny car. All this stuff matters, man. All this stuff matters, that we're doing. And the biggest rule of thumb I have is don't lose heart. Hold fast, outclass, outlast. Give nihilism no quarter at all. Show people what we're capable of when we pool resources, and you guys are my shield. Every time you guys make it possible for me to do what I do with your financial support, but with your presence is where it all begins. When you guys show up for these streams, I always say this, is that the most important thing you guys do is show up. That's the biggest thing you do. I'm overwhelmed by that, man. I'm overwhelmed by that. And my channel members, I see you guys, I feel like I'm like, look at all these people who have my back, man. It's crazy. Yes, Michael, I do. I was doing that this morning. And I thought, this thing is, I don't know what happened. I honest to God will tell you that when people talk about being visited by the muse, when people talk about God-given things and powers bigger than yourself acting through you, whatever that is, whatever people believe, whatever, I know where I come down with that. There is no way I could tell you where this stuff comes from. If I had to explain this, I couldn't explain why this is what it became. It's here. It's the most unbelievably complicated but then lyrical work I've probably ever done, and it is my finest illustration, I think. I think it's the best illustration I've done. And that is, I've done some illustrations I'm very proud of, but this one it's a different level of complexity. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? And I really do think, yes, inspiration and creativity. Yeah, I would say definitely. But there is this thing that is beyond discipline that drags me to the drawing board every morning that I have never understood my entire life. No amount of thinking about it has ever solved it. There is this thing that drives me to pack up the books and put them together with such care. It's the same thing that drives me to try to have interactions with people in a way that's kind and thoughtful, that drove me as a teacher to try to help people. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that comes from. And this is very much a... Stephen Rockwood, God bless you. This is very... There's a lot there's a lot tied up in this. There's friendship, to be sure. There's brotherhood. There's a need to stand up for grace and beauty and all of those things. The aesthetic as opposed to the anesthetic. That's my favorite definition of the aesthetic. If you want to truly understand what the aesthetic is, first get to know its opposite. The opposite of an aesthetic experience is an anesthetic experience. An aesthetic experience wakes you up. It heightens your senses. It makes you more present. That's what I was feeling this morning, but without any aesthetics. It was almost as if the aesthetics of life made me feel positive this morning, which is so strange. But aesthetics wake you up. Anesthetic puts you to sleep. It numbs you. It deadens you. That's what anesthetic is, and I feel like we are surrounded by anesthesia. We're surrounded by anesthesia. Artistic anesthesia everywhere. It's the slave to the didactic. It's the slave to the lowest common denominator, and I mean, I should say the lowest thing, lowest system of thought, which is the political. The political is the lowest way of thinking. Whether it's inter-office politics, global politics, regional politics, the political thinker is not the same thing as the great mind, the person who's civic-minded, the person who's politically minded. And when I'm doing this kind of work, when I'm doing, this kind of stuff, it's about waking people up. I want people to open up Nosfero and see the paintings and see the color and see the quality of the book and go, feel that sense of when you're getting on a roller coaster. Do you know what I mean? That's what I feel when my artist brothers do something great. Or musicians do something great that I could never imagine, or somebody who dances, or somebody who introduces me to something that's breathtaking from a creative standpoint. It hits me like a ton of bricks when I see that, and that's what I want. John coming in with the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases, his mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Amen to that. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations. Absolutely. Ooh, I'll have to ponder that a couple of minutes. Very good, Michael Bancroft. I got to go back now to catch this. Oh my gosh, you guys are the wisdom is flowing. At Cranberry Langers, there's a Chinese fable of a frog that lives its life at the bottom of the well and can't believe that there exists anything outside its confined world. 100%. Yep. That, guys, this is 100% what it's about. That's what I felt reading Nosfero. I knew immediately how special... Oh, thank you. How special it was. Thank you, Gen X Catholic. I really do appreciate that. I can explain... Spinal Tap is incredible. Spinal Tap is a masterpiece. Because it goes to 11. Yeah. It is such an amazing thing when I was talking to a fellow artist and independent creator. We were talking about a job and just just helping out where I could with something. And the thing that was really compelling to me about it is that, I don't know how to describe this, is that it's so easy to get sucked into the political and to pay attention to get sucked into the negativity, get sucked into, again, it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease mentality that's been put out there. That's not a great strategy for people. That's a great strategy for machinery. And unfortunately, if you give attention out like that, you will find yourself only paying attention to those things that don't work, those things that are complaining, those things that are negative. And one of the things I tried to do when I'm talking to people was to express my gratitude and also to acknowledge that the choice to be angry or ungrateful or any of those things is not something that is required. We all will face that stuff from time to time. We'll all have days where we fall short of the glory. Thank God for forgiveness. But it's not something that I want to actively promote as the way to go through life, because it's not good for anybody. God, I love French fries though, I must say. Just saw that. Yeah, exactly. Well, the only people who ever benefit from it, politicians, people who are politically minded. This is the thing that's interesting. When, yes, indeed, get a Nosfero t-shirt. Thank you, Stephen Rockwood. Every bit helps, yeah. Hits me like a ton of artist editions, yeah. Crank it up to 11, though. Why not make 10 louder? Yeah, that is a huge part of what we're doing here. And I see so many artists who are, coming out of the woodwork to fill this void in the human spirit for something that is beautiful, something that transcends the political and speaks to humanity, speaks to the human spirit. And that's what I want to be a part of. And that's why I need your support. That's why I need your help. And that's why I appreciate all of those things. It is one of the most difficult things about this particular space. That does not mean it's difficult in terms of the nature of humanity, but in the independent space, and I heard Tom McDonald talking about this the other day, is that you have to go out there and with as much grace as you can, not in a car salesman-y way, you have to go out there and you have to promote yourself constantly and be tireless in promoting yourself. And that is an overwhelming responsibility. That's an overwhelming task. It can be exhausting and all of that. But what I wasn't prepared for about this space, if there's one thing that I completely underestimated, was the support that I was going to receive. You guys were what I didn't see coming. The passionate fan base, the friendships, the sharing of books and art and imagination and ideas and all of that stuff. I did not factor that in to my accounting when I made this decision. And I am so much richer for it. And it's great to see Jimmy Reyes in the house. How are you doing, Jimmy? Great to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Yes. Yeah, redemption is a major theme in my book as well. And yes, you redemption, and also I was thinking about this today. About this whole idea of optimism. Oh, thank you so much, Cranberry Langers. I really appreciate it. Guys, going back, Jimmy, there is, yes, you do have the power of the Reds, Jimmy. I made sure you had that. Go back, Dragon Rage. That's my brother's book right there. Go check it out. Crenshaw, it's great to see you. Just stop in to like and share. Thank you so much. Have a great stream. You too, Crenshaw. It's wonderful to see you. Hail to you, brother. Yeah, and that's really, that's one of the most powerful things that I could not have imagined, was that people were going to be, I look back over this year, maybe because it is tax time, I look back over this year and I'm fully aware of all of the work I have ahead of me, all of the work that I've done behind me. The stuff that I am in shock by the most is when I go to update the credits for channel members. I play credits where that include all the channel members' names. For those of you guys who are new here, and there's a lot of new people here, that I'm like, I look at that and it forces me to look at, acknowledge the people who are supporting me month after month as channel members. And it's something that my wife sees and our family sees as a way of saying, hey, these folks are passionate about this idea of artists creating work that is attempts to be a grace to this world and not a disgrace to it. And that's the amazing thing. How are you doing, Comrade Sammy? Great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, brother. Fan for sure. Thank you so much. Oh, God bless you. Mark's Music Obsession. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, dude. Mike likes tacos. It's great to see you, brother. How are you doing? Hail and welcome. Oh, gosh, air fryers. Now you guys are making me hungry for everything, really. Everything good. Yeah, grab some Lucent stuff, guys. Go check it out right there. 100%. Yeah. Creator-owned comics are going to be... How do I put this? Creator-owned comics are the only way, and this is why Comicsgate exists, this is why what we're doing is so important in this space for all independent creators, is there would be no need for this if merit was rewarded inside of the industry. People would be in positions and say, we need to reward our best and most skilled people. This is what's going to make things work. What you're doing when you're in this space, backing us in the things that we do, is you are saying there should be an alternative, and there can't be an alternative without our support. And we are going to say, no, we can make a different choice. That is why this is happening. And the importance of what we're doing right now cannot be overstated. That's what it is, because it is very scary for artists to step into such a space with no guarantees. That is a huge leap of faith, and we couldn't do it without you guys. We could not do it without you guys. Yeah, hail everybody. Great to see you. Yes, Bogan and Go 100%. Let's see if I missed anything else. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, guys. Yeah, meritocratically, the people who cared about those characters would likely be the best. Yes, and I think that it goes without saying that when we look at the stuff that we're doing and we look at the work that we're doing, it seems silly to not hire the people who can bring the work, the artwork to the people in the best light. But you're watching what happens when they do. I was laughing about the idea that a movie with the subject matter of something like Oppenheimer could be such a massive blockbuster. But it's because they underestimate the audience's intelligence. They underestimate the audience's intelligence, and they underestimate our need for something that is truly poetic, that the average calculating politician cannot put together. Someone joked that hey, what's up, 40% Zed? Hail, how are you doing, brother? It's great to see you. Somebody was saying that, you couldn't, some of the best movies, some of the biggest productions in the world, how would you pitch them to be massive blockbusters? You couldn't. And the thing about it is you create something of quality. You create something that is, how do I word this? It's a wild thing to try to articulate, and I appreciate you guys being here and supporting me while I stumble and fumble for the proper words. There's a place of quiet inside of all of us. There's a place of calm. There's a place of peace when we are, in this particular zone. And it's not one thing. It's not simplistic. It's not an absence of thought. It's like it has so many different ways of interpreting and letting in information, letting in knowledge. And it's not just it's like, if it's a sense of taste, it's not just sugar. It understands that there are a lot of different inflections and a lot of different flavors out there, and it craves richness in the stimulus that are put in front of it, and the stimuli that's put in front of it. And like I said, there's many different things. There's many different things and many different tastes. I have so many different movies I like, so many different works of art, many different kinds of music. But it must be good. It must speak to our foundational aesthetic understanding of things. And when you make something of that quality by hook or by crook, it will find a big audience as time goes on. That will happen. And that's important. Nice, John. Yes, indeed. It's Shave. Yeah, that's right. Shave in the house. No, Rocky asked the same. It was roast beef. There you go. Talking sandwiches again. Yes, I saw Oppenheimer myself. There you go. You guys are killing me, man. Shave in the house, of course. They think we'll continue to buy the label. It's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. And how long has the work of Edgar Allan Poe been in publication? How long has the work of Shakespeare been in publication? How long have all of these things been in publication? A friend of mine, working at an institution that will remain nameless, shared with me a story that really brought a lot of this home to me, the importance of the stuff we're doing, this hand skill, the printing of books, the delivering it to people, the mailing of people. It is so much easier to do PDFs. There is no getting around it. It would be in some senses. But then he told me the story that the administration at a very large art college, we'll say that, made the decision with only one email warning to get rid of this free service they were providing to alumni, providing them with a Google Drive. And so this has been going on for years, and they deleted the Google Drive, and all of these students who had used it since graduation, going back a decade or more, probably a decade and a half, and all these faculty who had had student work shared with them that they kept calling upon, it all disappeared because of one decision. What's up, KSSS? Happy birthday, my friend. It's great to see you. So let me say that again. It all disappeared. It was all digital. It was all data. No comment. It was, and we're still finding, lost footage of Metropolis because it was shot on film. When we print these books, we are making them physical in a way that people can't take away from you. Think of how many things we have, how many photos we have on a drive somewhere that we just hope are going to be there forever. When you get this book, you are going to have physically in your hands this thing that is yours alone. And if you got a head sketch, you will have the only one in your book. If you got a watercolor sketch, you will have or gouache sketch or painted acrylic sketch, a painted head sketch, you will have the only one in existence. And if you buy an original painting from me, I think there's still a bunch on my site still, you will have that thing in perpetuity. That thing will last. And it's wild to think about the things that we have surrendered to the virtual and that we don't get to hold in our hand. I like to have a physical book to read. It doesn't mean I can't read a PDF and I don't enjoy a PDF. But there's something about the process of the physical book and looking at the artwork where it's not shooting light at your eyeballs that is enjoyable. I like to have a mixture of these things, and it's wild. It's a wild thing to see, this stuff unfold, and to see this work happen. That's why I haven't watched the American content that's been coming out the last few years. I don't like racist, anti-human, progressive propaganda, and what you've got right there is why I've been watching so many old movies, and I own so much, and I'm buying more stuff that's great. There's old work out there that you can get, omnibus, art collectors stuff. The fun part for me right now is being able to give you guys who are in this space and being able to mail out these physical copies. To get these in front of you guys by hook or by crook. Imagine mailing out wedding invitations, but they're large books that have to be packed in boxes, and you can imagine what it's like. I did not have this many people at my wedding that backed my book, but we're talking about beauty, we're talking about imagination, we're talking about craft, and may it not perish from this continent, may it not perish from this country. That is the thing that this is about. May this art form that was made in this country, that was birthed in this country, may it sort of be rediscovered, be reborn in something that's better, brighter, more creative, and inspiring than we were ever able to do before. And if we can't achieve that, by God, we should be trying to do it. We should die trying. That's a hill worth dying on. And the fact that you guys together are so powerful that you can have the opportunity to lift up my family and the work that I'm doing, and the families and the work of so many other creators who are trying to make this thing happen, it's so powerful, and it should make you feel great. It should make you feel fantastic about where we are and optimistic about where we are. That we needn't worry about the folks who don't appreciate it or don't care or want to put things down, because why would we? We're trying to build stuff up. We're making great stuff, Oh, thank you, Michael. God, I appreciate that coming from you. Seriously. The colors you got on the Nosfero print still shock me. That is as good as I could have imagined. That was the bar. It cost money. It cost a lot of money. I know, Mark. I know, brother. I'm working as fast as I can to get these out so I can get that second chance campaign up. It is my rule with printing these books up is it's got to be the best color I can get and the best value I can get, because you're going to be looking at this stuff. This is your copy to look at and spend time with. It's so important. And I'm going to let, and when it eventually happens, and it will, much like it's happened with Roger, gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking. I said his name wrong. My brain is pudding right now. Richard Corbin. I was about to say Roger Corman. God, I must be tired. With Richard Corbin is that the book publishers eventually come. They take all of this weight off of creators, but right now is when we need you guys more than ever. Is when we're walking through this mire of having to fight against everything. And I guess that's what Tom McDonald was so emotional about the other day. Because people were saying, stop asking me to buy your album, that you have a new album out, to download it now, go buy it on iTunes, stop saying that. He goes, I have nobody else doing it if I don't do it. And I thought, it's so true. Your fans help you get the word out. which is so, so important. But you owe it to them and you owe it to everybody to be constantly making noise about the stuff that you're doing and putting the word out on the street that this is what I'm doing. And it's sometimes it can be, sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but then, as I often experience, you'll have these moments where you do things like I did this morning, where I was updating my channel credits, and I was like, all these people have my back. This is crazy. You know, I'm so grateful. Why would you be tired, Shanth? You got 2 hours of sleep. That's actually true. Close to that. I got a bit of a suntan today on the 4th of March. I had a suntan in January. I knew you would appreciate that, Finatra. You know, it's, everything is, Michael will one day tell you of the Linda and explain to you my view of Australia. Yeah, it's 87 degrees today, Finatra, a beautiful sunny day. Michael, darling, are the Lindas out in force? Are the Lindas out in force, Michael? What news of Brisbane? I must know. What news of Porpoise Spit? Now that's an obscure reference. January and February are the hottest months here. But what of the Lindas? What of the Lindas? What say you? I did this thing during the Summer of Love that would make my wife laugh, where I would just go, and what news of Chaz? Haven't seen any Lindas of late, unfortunately. This is proof, evidence right here, that Mel is not watching this stream right now. Because if she was, he wouldn't have even said he was looking. Because I got Michael in a little bit of trouble. Accidentally on purpose. Finatra, my man. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm definitely getting the LCD tan, that's for sure. More like Brisbane. You know what I mean? Amen. Yeah. Yes, indeed. The Linda is an archaeological finding which contains insight on sockets over the last 2,000 years involving the human form for those interested. Amen. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. And so yeah, I mean, it's Nosfero 2. I want to tell you guys the story so bad you have no idea. It is okay. Bare knuckle optimism. Bare knuckle good. Give nihilism no quarter. That is what it's about. And so Nosfero 2, and then it's only possible if the Second Chance campaign with the art only edition and with a regular edition, if that does well. It's only possible if those things are a big success. Let me be very clear about that. But Nosfero 2 is basically going to introduce a character that is like the death dealer, like Frank Frazetta's death dealer, like that level of power, but if it was on the side of good. I'm so excited about the story. I'm so excited. My eyes are always peeled. Amen. God bless you. God bless you. Yep. Yeah, he did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Shall tell us the plot of Dune 2 instead. I wish I could. Because I haven't seen the movie. I only know the 2 adaptations, and then I have not yet had the pleasure, which I'm going to be doing soon. Just want to make sure I can give it time, or focus, I should say. I'm going to be listening to I've only read bits of Dune. I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of Dune soon so that I can experience that on its own. Because I have so many friends who love it. Much like with Lord of the Rings, I have so many friends who love Lord of the Rings that I sort of said, okay, I need to deep dive into this and I need to take a look at this. And I researched Tolkien, I researched all of that stuff. So I love to research the stuff that my friends are passionate about. And Dune is one that has come up again and again and again. And while I know a lot about it, I haven't really experienced the language of the book. And that's got to be most of it. It's got to be a huge part of the experience. So I want to get a better understanding than just, skimming through it. So yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, they Dune harder. That was the best title, Die Hard 2. What's up, Camel Moon? How are you doing? Hello, fellow Iron Gators. A new term I just coined, trademark coming soon. There you go. There you go. Let me see here. These best Dune 2 analysis I saw was that a dude tells a bunch of as he tries to nuke. Oh my god, you just killed me. Yes, I have no doubt all those folks cannot be wrong. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man, it's craziness. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Heavens to Betsy. Brian Herbert, not so much. Hey, listen, that's a tough act to follow. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me, man. It's like and this is another thing I was talking about the other day is that I was telling this friend of mine who's also in this space. I go, in my wife's intro to Nosfero, she talks about what things were like for us trying to promote books and trying to get stuff out there, before Comicsgate. And Comicsgate has, I think that having gone through Diamond with Springball and having worked, I think my first comic book job, my indie job, I was 17 years old and I got paid $30 a page. When I was doing Springball through Diamond, it just gave me such an appreciation for what Comicsgate is and what we've been able to do here. Things have changed. Printing costs, all of that stuff I have memory of. All of that stuff is a big part of it. So when my wife was writing in the intro, she was like going, we were trying to do this stuff before Comicsgate, and we can absolutely see the change. I mean, we appreciate it so much. Yeah. May the Lord of the Iron Gate come forth. Let justice be done upon him. I feel like that sounds like the Iron Curtain. Seems a little too Soviet, but yeah. Heavens to Betsy. Haven't heard that in a while, Shanth. My mother's name is Betsy. There you go. Yeah, I say I say heavens to Betsy every now and again. I must have had a teacher who said that when I was in school. I had some really funny teachers, that's for sure. But I say it more than my fair share. I can tell you that. I think it's an incredible time. I know that people were doing, obviously, independent comics on Kickstarter and doing all of this stuff, but there was really no need for what we were doing in this space until, frankly, cancel culture. Until people started trying to tell folks, you can't do this and you can't do that. Until then, and it will happen again because people are tired of it. That is sort of one of the purposes of this stream. When everything got political, you can look at how political a society is, and it lines up perfectly with how bad the artwork they make is. The more politically minded a group of people are, the worse their artwork is. Because we're in this world of Arrakis, also known as Dune. Do you guys know what I mean? One ring to rule them all. I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? What are they teaching in schools these days? Professor Diggory Kirk. Do you understand? In truth, she was a bit of a coquette. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There wasn't an army of people writing those works. Frankenstein. Dracula. There was not an army of people. They're all in the public domain. What difference does it make? What difference does it make if Mickey Mouse is in the public domain or not? Dracula is. Frankenstein is. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? All of this stuff. We are to paraphrase Joseph, or to quote Joseph Campbell, quoting a Polynesian expression, we are standing on a whale fishing for minnows. And when I got into this space that we're in, Comicsgate, don't get it twisted, right? When I came into the Comicsgate space, I had an opportunity that was for a creative, for somebody wanting to make work that isn't going to be allowed to be made or would need to be art directed other places. Oh, can we lose? I'll give you something that would have been a problem for me. Here's something that would have been a problem for me. And I'm reasonably certain because of the circles. I came from academia. I came from the fine arts world. Let's talk about this. Here's some stuff that would have been a problem to me. That would not have been a problem. That would have been fine. That I could have gotten published. No problem. This would have been a problem. This would have been a problem. Maybe that less so, but you never know. That was becoming a problem too. But this is the page I wanted to have in here with all of that. Do you guys know what I mean? Mighty Geek Studios, my man. It is great to see you, Mighty Geek. How are you doing, brother? Oh my gosh, let me catch up with the chat. Sorry, I got on a bit of a rant there. Nothing much, man. The grind and gratitude for you guys. That is the gist, you know? Highly suggesting. I know it's a quick read. Well, for me, nothing's a quick read. Hopefully it'll be a decent listen because I'm slow at reading. But I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I will absolutely check it out. I've had too many people that I respect say, you've got to read this. You've got to read this. The first one is heavy. It was a really stunning opener. But the world expands so much beyond that. It fades a bit in comparison. Not from lack of quality. I get what you're saying. Hail! Survive Infinity 0088. It's great to see you. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail. That's right. I'm always listening to the Pork Chop Express, brother. I am always listening to the Pork Chop Express. Never forget. I figure next time I'm back, you guys will gang up on poor Jack so fast he won't know what hit him. Well, easy come, easy go. Right? But my favorite line for that is, here's to the Army and the Navy and the battles they have won. Here's to America's colors, colors that never run. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather, guys. That's what it's about. That's what Comicsgate's about. That's what we're doing. You know, we're kicking ass and we're working hard. And that page is what made me give you... Oh, my God. God bless you, God, what is this? This feels like an intervention. It's a compliment intervention, Shanth. Run. Every time Shanth shows me the page with the cross, he seems to not understand that I'm distracted by... See the count. Listen. Both those together are what they won't let us do. Both of them. Yeah, Herbert had like 52 different jobs from spear diving to consultant... before he wrote. Yes. Yeah, these guys, we've all lived interesting lives. I was talking again with another creator. I've been able to fortunate to have these conversations. It's all in the reflexes. Amen. What was the line? I must just seem so monumentally naive. You are. God bless him. He's such a great actor. If you haven't got the Shout Factory release of that, they have interviews with all of those guys. The actor who played Eddie talks about his role. It was fantastic, man. Everybody's great. But yeah, I wanted to do something that I couldn't do anywhere else. And when I get the chance to, you know, show people what we're doing in the independent space right now, this is an advertisement for what we're doing in Comicsgate. This is an advertisement for what I do here at Shanth Enjeti Art and why I need your support. This is an advertisement for Michael Bancroft's The Lucent. This is about showing the quality that we are creating here. And now that Nosfero is there, now that it's been made physical, my job is so much easier. I have to mail it. It is a tremendous amount of organization, and it's a grind to do it in terms of, if I could do it faster, I absolutely would. It makes no sense for it to take time, because the sooner I can launch my next campaign. But I want this to be done right, and I want it to get it in front of you guys. I want it to be quality, and so going over the color proofs, all of that was important. Like, look at the fire. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Look at the fire in this sequence and the power of that. You know what I mean? What's up, Awesome One? Channel member, how are you doing? You will be in the credits. I got the credits updated. Cranberry Langer says, we're the Seabees. Oh, I like that reference. Of the Navy, we can build and we can fight. We've paved the way through, through history. We guard it day and night, and we promise that we'll remember the 7th of September. Absolutely right, guys. We are getting it done. Can you make it more fiery? I'm working on it. Yeah, believe me, Nosfero 2 is going to definitely be more fiery. It's concerned me for a long time how hostile the mainstream has been towards at least some religions. Yes, I understand being indifferent, but dislike, but they outright are hostile. Yeah, amen. There you go. There you go, folks. Yeah, it's here's the thing. Hatred and resentment is the compliment that ugliness pays to beauty, to character. Politicians aren't doing their job, or the political minded person is not doing their job if they're not hating quality, if they're not hating excellence, if they're not hating drive and determination. That is what they do. That is what they do. They've always got a comment. They've always going to pick something apart, and that's how they make it work. Our single goal, our singular purpose is to center ourselves and pay it no mind, because it distracts us from doing, how do I put this? It distracts us from doing good work to be obsessed with the noise and clatter coming from the bad works of other people. It's not something that lifts us up. It's not something that that's going to inspire us. And I think that if there's one thing that I've been doing that has been life-saving for me, it's been so helpful to me. It's been I've been rediscovering classics. In some cases, I watch early Comicsgate streams from way back to remember like how unsure and how risky all this is, so I can, always remember that. I mean, I don't really need that much help remembering it, but I do think it's important. I go and look at creators from back in the day when they were starting out, old interviews with the founders of Image Comics, or Walt Disney, and what he imagined would be possible versus what was ultimately possible, coming from Kansas City, Missouri. I mean, these guys, man, surround yourself with inspiration. Surround yourself with inspiration, and give no quarter. Do not allow somebody. How do you determine friend from foe? That's a really good one. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you cultivate your own excellence, and if you do what you're supposed to be doing, and if you conduct yourself with character, the foes in this particular context, they are sprinters. They are not marathon runners. Give them time. They will fall away. They will leave. They will show themselves the door when they realize they can't get anything off of you. And the people who support you will have your back in ways that you can't even imagine. They'll support you. They'll lift you up, but you can't. You can never take the disdain or resentment out of anybody else, but you can work to remove it from yourself. And I think that's the biggest, that's the biggest lesson. That's what the origin story of Nosfero is, the story of a young man trapped in a situation he can do nothing to get out of. He just has to endure, and he has to hold on to his faith. He has to keep his eyes on a glimmer of hope, which is where another character gets his name from. That is what my experience has been, is seeing excellence in humanity. And these people cannot stand excellence. How hard was it for somebody like Jordan Peterson to discover who his foes were? I just saw him talk live recently, thanks to my wonderful wife. And how hard was it to find his enemies? His enemies came out of the woodwork. They were everywhere. Once they saw what he was doing, they couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand his success on YouTube. They couldn't stand that he didn't agree with the party line. They said, who is this person? And now they're all coming to him saying, hey, they're threatening my job. Hey. And it's like, it's too late. They said, what could we do to stop this? And he said something. He was talking about a former colleague, said, what could we do now? And he goes, it's not what you could do now, it's what you could have done then that you failed to do. And that's the wild thing about it. The people who are passionate about this, what I'm doing here, it's crazy, man. Their support is incredible. And, I often say is, it's a hard thing to describe. I don't know. I'm much more... Here's what I would say. Here's my long, rambling answer to this. I think that I'm getting better at spotting people as time goes on who are really supportive and conduct themselves with character and are there. And it's something that I've always had a pretty decent read of, but it's it's definitely gotten better with time, and it's one of the most important skills that you can master is not to prejudge people, not to be angry if the correct answer comes from a source that you don't think should have the correct answer. It's amazing how that stuff frees you up. Begin every situation with an open mind, but if you see grave breaches when they happen of, trust and all of that other stuff, what's that quote from Maya Angelou? When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. I think that's a pretty damn good bit of advice. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I really enjoy the stairs. I put some time into the stairs. Yeah, I went full service guarantee citizenship at some point. I believe we should select for morally specifically. Some point, I believe we should select for morality, specifically altruism, the willingness to sacrifice for others, definitely. Eric Weathers, Battle Brick Road 2, guys. Back it. Thank you, Stephen Rockwood, my brother. Yeah, I mean, it's a wild thing, right? I didn't know anything about Ethan, or other than the fact that he was not a fan of recent Star Wars movies. I told John Malin this the other day. I said the reason why I backed him for the first time was because he was on a stream surrounded by people who were trashing Rob Liefeld, and he was defending Rob Liefeld, and I laughed. I was like going, that dude gets my respect, because he wasn't doing it just to have a contrarian opinion, and he was like saying, this is what I like, and I'm not backing down, and I respect the hell out of that, man. That's what it's about for me. It's about, and I don't mean just to be stubborn. It's like not in the face of all of the incentives being socially, politically, let's go back to that word, all of the political incentives being for you to deny what you actually think you choose, or what you actually believe. Let's go a little bit more so. You stick to your guns. And if you change your beliefs for advancement, then to me, that's a grave character breach. And it's funny, people who are sprinters start counting what you are and aren't doing for them immediately. They can't resist, because every situation is gamed out in terms of, well, what have you done for me lately? And for me, you guys see the time I'm putting in, the sacrifice I put into doing this stuff, and I've been doing YouTube now for a couple of years. Nobody can keep a lie going that long. It's really difficult. Yeah, it's really difficult. And one of the stories that I like from Comicsgate, and Michael just commented here, take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come your way. Beautiful quote. And let me also add that when Michael, I guess, was aware of my work before I was in Comicsgate, and before I said I was like, it's the weirdest thing in the world to me, because I don't even think about that now. But before anyone really knew, and he was talking about how when you meet people, you're like going like, do I want to say, hey man, what's up? I like your artwork. And then they find out like, oh, you're an untouchable, and he was really shocked when he found that out about me. I think he was following me on Instagram, but I can't remember. And I just thought, wow, that's a trip, to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I can't imagine that level of prejudging that I've experienced in academia and all of that stuff. And I knew that if I came into this space, I could not continue to do what I was doing. It was a big sacrifice. Yes, the before time. Do you know what I mean? I can't believe we haven't been friends forever. It's really weird. If I had a nickel for every time my white tighties to show right back of my motorcycle, there you go. Jeremy Birds, channel member, legend. I doff my cap to you, sir. It's great to see you, man. Right on. Do you guys know what I mean? People were freaked out. People were really terrified. I was there during those times. If I have been doing this stuff for so long and just grinding away at this work since even before Comicsgate when I did those 2 art books. And I say this, man, you can't, yeah, I cannot do the what I'm not getting thing. I can't do that. It's not, it's not how I'm designed. That way, I came from that environment in academia. To me, that's the whole Marxist sort of trope. And my power is, if I have any power, my power is in not letting, not letting my soul get dyed by the color of negative thoughts, and what I'm not getting, and how I was born in America, man. I was born in the West. I was born post penicillin. I didn't do anything to deserve that. Like my kid asked me the other day, my son asked me the other day, he's like, so like, what was the thing that turned out to cure leprosy? And I was like, antibiotics. Just antibiotics? Yeah. They're very useful in helping you to not have parts of yourself fall off. The invention of penicillin, guys. Yes, indeed. Never, thank you, Gen X Catholic. God bless you. Never despair, never weaken. We win in the end. Amen. America. This is Jeremy Eisenfire. I second that. Shanth Aurelius. Man, my name's hard enough already. But God bless you, Admiral Wackass. Jeremy Sart, those who don't count white days miss the truer blessings of life. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Yes, too true. Indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's a very humbling experience and humbling thing, the unlikely sources of support you experience. I was given I was paid a compliment the other day, and it doesn't matter if it's not ever followed by more compliments. I don't think in those terms. I was paid a professional compliment by a artist whose character I respect a great deal, and it was surprising. It was really surprising. Like, not surprising in the sense of, it was just surprising. Like, I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm owed X amount of things. I wake up in the morning, this is what I have to do. I have to try to be excellent for the people around me and do my best. That's it. Like, that's what I think about. And when those things, happen, as they do, it's, they always give me pause, and I always try to just, take those things in and appreciate the hell out of them, and it's every opportunity, every book I send, every purchase, I want to get to a point to where I can deliver for Mrs. Enjeti a 6-figure campaign. That's my goal. I want to get to the point to where I have enough subscribers to where I don't, and enough, support coming from YouTube and my comics and things, that I don't have to worry about buying brushes. I'd love to take her on a great vacation. I'd love to take her on a vacation. I can't remember the last time we went on some crazy vacation, because we just work. Both of us work our asses off. And we have been, since we got married, since we've known each other. And I would love all of those things, but don't feel entitled to them. But that is my goal. That is my drive for the stuff that I do. I wanted to make sure I raised my kids as best as I could. I wanted to give them my full attention. I want to do every job to the best of my ability. And, now that my kids are adults, that's the thing I want more than anything right now, is to put good things out into the world, to try to leave the people that I interact with better off than they were when they met me, if they're interested in it. If they're not, may God bless and keep the Tsar far away from me, as they say. And yeah, that's it. That's why I do this. That's why I do this. It's not just me sacrificing time and energy. It's my family. That's so many of the people in this space, and then you come into a space like this, and I know I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating. You come into a space like this for your children, even though there is tremendous financial penalty for it and there's financial risk. You do it so that your children can say, my father had principles, he was a good man, and he stood on those principles. That's a really important thing, and it's hard to do when you don't have, flowers laid at your feet. Some of the biggest stands I've ever had to take, I've taken on my own. People weren't clapping. People weren't saying, oh my gosh, look at you. You made a stand. I've found I've usually been alone in those situations. And there have been consequences that far outweigh the temporary reward of feeling like, oh, I stood up for that. You got to come from a place where you know the risks and you do it anyway. And that's why Nosfero exists, and that's why I'm in Comicsgate, guys. Good Lord, I feel like I'm just going nuts today. Apologies, guys. Thank you for your support. Oh, I missed your last post. Sorry. Let me go back to it. Back from the gym, says Phil. Up in the club. Where did I miss? Let me, Mark, where am I? I can't believe I missed Mark's. Where is it, Mark? Mark. I'm missing everything right now. Shoot. Before I see you. Mark, where are you? Oh, I feel like I'm losing my mind right now. You missed my last post to get my feeling. You missed my last post to get my feeling on it. Crap. Where is it, Mark? Oh, here we go. Thank you. Mark's music obsession. Words are easy, like the wind. Faithful friends are hard to find. We got your back, Shanth. Mark, thank you so much. I love it. Thank you. That's what I've got. God bless you. And of course, Wolves for Coach John Malin. Yeah. Take risk of thinking for yourself. Yes, indeed. I love that quote. That's a great one. I just want to make sure I got everything here. Phil's up and Shave is in the house. You guys are scaring me. It's not enough to just argue the point. An alternative has to be offered. You're absolutely right. Got to. You got to. Was that a line from the Shake Weight? Yeah. Yeah. I am too proud to... I know this quote. I love this quote. I am too proud to be a parasite, and if my nature lacks the germ that grows towering to heaven like a mountain pine, I stand not high. I stand not high it may be, but alone. There it is. Yup. And yup. Yeah. I mean, there's the possibilities are endless. It's the will that you need to have. And it's when you see people who are standing on principle, it's always difficult. It's always hard. And I always think of I got to witness and see the courage in those early days. And I couldn't look away from it because of what it cost and because what I knew I was going to be sacrificing. I could not look away from it because once I knew this was, the right thing to do, and try to put it in different terms, when you watch somebody have their life upended, and you have, in my case, I had a personal experience with a very similar, and this was before I was in this space, with a very similar form of moment of just betrayal, really painful betrayal. And I did not react to it. I did not let it beat me up. But I learned from it, and I said, okay, this is what we're going to have to do. This is not what I want to be around. And I will tell you something. The folks that I am working with today and that I'm doing this stuff with are the right kinds of people. The folks that are in the chat are the right kinds of people. That's incredible. Shanth, I have a question about color. Go for it. I'm frightened of it. Shave. Chicken stir fry? That's right. Shanth, can you talk about the difference between being smart and decisive? Oh my God. Jeez, that's a heavy question. That's a good one. Okay, I'll give you what I heard from Thomas Sowell that I thought was really great. That the difference is intellectualism. That being smart takes place in your head, and the output of just raw smarts and having a lot of information are ideas. the decisive person's intelligence and intellect is represented in action. So you will see the decisive person will do things and make things. The smart person will think about things. And the more that we think about things, the more depressed and the more anxious we get, the more that we exist in our own minds, because that's what happens. And the more that we act, the more peace that we get. So the decisive person will have productivity to show, and the merely smart person will only have ideas to show. Will only have thoughts to show. Does that help? Hopefully that makes some sense. That's my take on it anyway. Let me see here. Me too. Color or color. Oh, there you go. No, I don't think so. Chicken stir fry sounds good though. Chicken stir fry always sounds good. Why does purple drink make my toilet green? Doesn't make sense. First of all, purple drink is the nectar of the gods. So I don't know why that's happening. Smart is the donkey and the haystack. Decisive is the picking one. Yes, that's right. There you go. Yeah, make it so. Yes, we too, born to freedom and believing in freedom, are willing to fight to maintain freedom. We are all, we and all others who believe as deeply as we do would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. There you go. Absolutely. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that helped. Yes, hurry up, says John. This is ruining my sense of self-esteem, I mostly think. Well, this is the interesting thing, right? Is that rather than thinking about how much you think, just pay attention to how much you're acting. I bet it's a lot more than you think. Most of the folks that I know have a nasty tendency. A lot of the most conscientious people I know have a nasty tendency of measuring their failures, quote unquote, against other people's successes, and never the reverse. Take some time to list out the things that you accomplish in a given day, and it's good for you. It really can help. And I think it's so important to do. You know, I look at, it's very easy for me to think of, you know, what I wish, you know, I could do with my campaign, my next campaign, or what I wish I could have accomplished on this and the. And whenever that stuff happens, I sit back and I look at a fully painted comic book and I take a moment to appreciate it. I look at all of the support that I have and I appreciate it. There's no room for ingratitude. I want to crowd that out of my life as much as I can. It's terrible. Resentment is drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, as the famous quote said, and it's very accurate. You know, I have the opportunity to share my artwork with people in a way I couldn't have imagined when I graduated from college. You know, it's like I look at all of this stuff that I'm doing here, and I really wish I could get a better, let me zoom way out on this thing so you guys can see it, and the colors will correct a little bit. Look at what we're doing here. This is hands down the most insane thing I have ever painted in my entire life. And it can be viewed two completely different ways. It's the poetry, man. It's the poetry, it's the elegance, it's the purpose. You know, it's everything, you know. And there are 33 fully painted pages in this book, guys, which blows my mind. I have not created this many paintings and this level of complexity in my entire time as an artist. It's incredible, man. Like the thought of like how much stuff has come out of this, and you know, you guys have helped to make it possible. You know, them hoes ain't loyal. Abraham Lincoln, 100%, 100%. Sean takes a moment to look at his fully painted comic book and then thinks, "Oh crap! Now I have to pack them." The where I pack the books is directly in front of me. It's right behind the laptop, so there's not a moment, and it's covering my entire workspace. There's not a moment I ever get to escape it, which is good. I'm very grateful to be in the situation I'm in, and I am absolutely ready, you know, to do Nosfero 2 and to see where this next stage of the adventure takes us, because it is going to be some serious comic booking. It's going to be a worthy successor to what I've been what I did with Nosfero 1. But this painting is just bonkers. You know, it's an absolutely insane thing. Yeah, of course. We all should be ashamed we forgot that Lincoln quote, man. You guys are so funny. Yeah, I do. Well, the biggest thing is I look at the boxes that I've got to pack them in, and I'm just thinking, all right, I'm like learning how to do those better. I'm ashamed that I'd forgotten that quote. There it is, guys. There it is. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing because, it's almost as if, and for those of you guys who are asking about, you know, how do you spot, you know, this, that, and the other thing is, you know, when you're out, especially when you're online, is that if you follow content creators and people who are making things and who are you know, just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you can see people's an attitude, I think, oftentimes very, very quickly. But there's people who have a lot of skill, who are doing interesting stuff and have no shortage of subscribers. Let me be clear about that too. And when you start to put that stuff into your feed, you get more of that kind of stuff. Not all of it, but more of that kind of stuff suggested. YouTube has its algorithmic hijinks. My last stream is evidence of that. My last stream got absolutely buried and throttled by YouTube. There's like no getting around it. And the thing is that when you start to follow that stuff, it changes what comes in. I always think that the right kind of people crowd out the wrong kind of people, the people who are envious, the people who are bitter, the people who are not, you know, uplifting. The people who complain all the time, they can't tolerate people who don't, because they really want you to co-sign on that stuff, and you can just get them out. Another Lincoln quote, I love this: if you look for the bad in mankind, expecting to find it, you surely will. And that is absolutely what I'm talking about. Amen. That's a Michael question. Yeah, this will be a part of a Lucent campaign. There's no getting around it. That's the whole point of this. When this happened, so this whole Michael thing, if I can call it that, is really weird. And I think Michael would agree with me on that. How we met, how we were introduced, being kindred spirits, the friendship that formed, the way that this piece kind of came into existence was actually recorded. I had no idea what I was going to paint before a stream I was doing with my wife. And then all of a sudden we sat down to start the stream, and I go, oh, I think I'm going to paint the Lucent today. And this painting just happened. It's the weirdest. I mean, all of it's weird. All of it's weird, man. That's my quote. All this stuff with Comicsgate is just crazy, man. Like, I've met so many people that it's so strange. You know, I'm grateful for all of it, man. All this stuff with YouTube and you guys. I mean, I remember when I was streaming to nobody. I remember, and I didn't really. I was like, well, I've got to get better at this because I've got to be able to sell comic books, and I didn't even think about things like monetization and all of that stuff. It's such a trip, man. And I like to try to put that positivity out there, because I don't know where the road's going to lead you guys or lead me or whatever. But I am so glad our paths have crossed, and I hope you're open to it, man. You know, wherever it takes you. Was it over rollerblades? Man, let me tell you something. Rollerblades will be my cause of death. I can never rollerblade. That stuff scares me, man. Michael Gate, yes, indeed. Shanth art, yeah. The white Shanth, indeed. Yeah. You know who the person who really coined that was? Was my son. He came down and I was watching him, and my son looked at me and goes, he looks like a white you, which was the weirdest. I don't know where to go with that. It was one of those weird moments, but it was freaking beautiful, and it cracked me up. I remember when I told Michael that. I sent him a message. I go, you're not gonna believe what my kid said today. Oh my god, it was awesome. Yeah, it has been a long and crazy road here in Comicsgate. That's just why I say hi, Comicsgate, and shout it out, man. It's yeah, always talking some really great people who are highly motivated and skilled, and it really is the work that drives us. Making things that are beautiful is very complicated. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen sooner or later. in infinite possibilities, we're going to run into each other. Artist Enjeti 2924. Yes. It's all weird. That's going to be my slogan for my run. Yeah, we will need eyes to see where we are going. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Cranberry Langer says, I just realized Bancroft is on the other side of the world. It's Luke Two Faces, like this painting. Seriously, it is. I can't decide if I want to start posting videos regularly, much less live stream. The one video has done well, which I find interesting. Yes. Listen, you know, if you have an urge to do it, if you have something that you want to do, it will happen. Just like with that video. You know, just like with that video. I know how hard you work, and all of us are working and doing the best we can. And ultimately, I always say, is if you come to YouTube and the stuff that you're doing here, you know, honestly, and you approach it with that mentality, it's always a better journey. It's always a better road. You know what I mean? It's like if you have something that you want to share with people, you never know who that person is that it's going to impact in a positive way. You know, and I'm sure that none of the folks who are in CG had any idea that I existed or what was going on. I was in academia. I was in a completely different field. And they absolutely, you know, I saw their stuff. I saw what they were doing. And I was thinking, mainly it was, again, funny enough, it was about what was going on with pop culture more than it was comics. That was a completely secondary and, you know, later thing. And I thought, man, I found my folks. It was the same thing with the Choice Voice, who's not even in CG, man. I found him, and I was like, this dude. If you don't subscribe to his channel, check it out. He has a really great recent video. Really great. About something he dealt with from a subscriber. It was really interesting. Yeah. Michael Bancroft says, and in the future, Stephen Rockwood drawing. Yeah. Send me the lottery numbers, Michael. That's absolutely right. Hail, Apex Comics. How are you doing? It's great to see you, man. And KSSS says... 29-24, that's the year I've overslept. Yeah, 100%. I feel like Rumpelstiltskin sometimes. Yeah. Where is the elusive white... I love that book so much. I love that book, man. It makes me laugh. Holy Hand Grenades, great to see you, of course, brother. Hail, Shanth, and chat. Hail to you, Holy Hand Grenades. And again, guys, thank you, channel members. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. Again, when I was updating the credits, if the credits don't have your name in it, please comment that it doesn't. Because I did my best to, you know, reread it over and over again to make sure that everybody who's still a channel member is in there, and people who aren't in there, and the new channel members are added. And there's really not a great way to do that based on the interface. So hopefully I've got it up to speed, and everybody is where they are supposed to be. But if you're a channel member and you don't see your name in there, let me know. There we go. There it is, man. Look at how much fun we're having, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, hail Shanth and chat 100%, man. Hail Comicsgate. Luke Duke, this stream, y'all. Amen. There it is. We love Luke Duke. Yep, came for the blood sports, stayed for the comics. Amen. Yeah. And it's, you know what's so funny is I had a playlist of Star Wars related stuff. I love seeing my channel members posting those emojis, man. If you are a channel member right now, post those up. It is great to see Mark's music obsession. By the way, Mark and Diesel, if you're catching this later, you guys are moving up in the channel members list. The longer you're here and the more when I'm adding people back in, you guys are moving up. You guys are becoming seasoned veterans, man. So much respect. It's great to see you. I've got gifted subs from channels I've visited but haven't watched much. There you go, man. There you go. Well, I'm glad you're watching this one. Awesome one. Glad you're watching this one. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. What was I was just looking at like, oh, gosh, channel members. This, Nosfero, the icons. What was someone just telling me about? Oh, yes. So this was the wild thing. I was watching a stream that really is near and dear to me that I haven't watched in a while. Actually, she should have her comic book at her PO box, but I haven't checked in a bit, but I think I sent Anna's out the other week. But I was watching the stream where Anna is watching the finale of Mandalorian season 2 with Cecil, and it was an impromptu stream. And my friend Michael of the Choice Voice had exactly the same experience as did I. And it was a moment that was really powerful for folks who have been kind of suffering through the revisionism of Star Wars and the humiliation of Luke Skywalker and the undoing of everything that our heroes accomplished for the sake of spite and for the sake of really stealing the credit of these characters' heroic accomplishments. And it's such a crazy thing because people who really are passionate about art and creativity, if you have the blessing of having them, if you have fans and things like that, if you're lucky enough to buy your way into Star Wars, not the hard work George Lucas did to take it from nothing into something, but if you have been given the luxury of being able to buy Star Wars just because you have money and you are to be its custodian, and you have an audience who loves it, just like the comic book audience, just like the art audience, just like the people who like stories about faith, people who like stories about Lovecraftian horror and monsters and sword and sorcery, if they show up for Nosfero, my only job is not to freaking alienate them. If you are born on third base and you can't steal home, what is going on? You need to look in the mirror. And if you are given the stage and the opportunity to promote your work on the biggest stages in this space, be appreciative of it. That's all I can say. You know, it's be appreciative. Be relentlessly appreciative. That's the key. And I don't take having an audience for granted. I don't take, the hard work I have to do for granted. I just keep going, duck bacon. I don't know why duck bacon makes me so happy. It just does. Every time I see your icon and name, it makes me smile. It's good stuff. Yeah, I've gone through Gamergate, heard of Comicsgate, checked it out. Then tripped when Ethan started showing up in Bloodsports chat, then popping on. There you go. Yeah, it's really funny. We love this stuff. We were here before it was cool, and before hipster posers ruined it. That's the way I would put it. And that the first thing they ever ruined, the first thing that hipster posers ever ruined, was art. It was art. It was the fine arts movement, and if you want to really understand it in depth, you can read Gowan's wonderful book, The Unchanging Arts, that talks about what a complete and utter invention these new definitions, quote definitions of art. Art is simple. When something becomes an art, it is a skill that is mastered beyond what is typical. That's when you say, oh, that mechanic is an artist. That engineer is an artist. You know what I mean? That doctor, that surgeon, gosh, you know what I mean? Anything you would talk about, that person rises to the level of an artist. But they came in and it was brilliant. They turned aesthetics on its head and made the practice of skill to reflect nature, to create an aesthetic experience and a sense of beauty. They made it about ugliness and politics. That was the first thing we lost. And then they took academia. That's it. Yeah, they got academia, and with it many things across the board. You'd be more familiar than me. Yeah, absolutely familiar. Yep. I might just be fed up smoking a square. There you go. Yeah, beauty is a form of truth, and there you have it. Yep. Yeah, hope Comrade Sammy makes it back before Shanth wraps up. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, uncancel logic, uncancel beauty, and uncancel objective reality. You do not get to redefine beauty for everybody through force. And that is what we are doing here. We are standing up to a massive force that's against us. I need your support. Well, that's why I'm always saying thank you, channel members, whenever I'm on here. That's why I'm saying thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the stream out. Tell people to come watch the stream. Share it out after it's ended. Go, have you ever checked out this guy's streams? Everything you do helps. This guy needs your support. This artist needs your support. Because the forces who are trying to change the definition of beauty and skill, they're very powerful. They're very influential. They make this hard for us to do. They want it to be hard for us to do. And it has never been harder than when the first folks stepped across that line. The first man over the wall. Jack Malin, man. It's killing his deal with a publisher. Him and Richard C. Myers' deal with a publisher. the way they went after these guys' financials, the way that these things are not something that we can ever take lightly. We can't take these things lightly. And in terms of what people go through, and when I was in this space, and when I was in academia, and I was trying to do this stuff, and I had to stand up, there was nobody. I had nobody, so I know what it's like. I had a friend of mine. I had a couple of friends, or people that I thought were friends, and then I had a friend of mine who I did not want to have to step into this situation, but it was tough. It was tough, man. And maybe you guys have seen these moments, but I will share this here, and it is I'll share this here because it's important for context. And I haven't swore this entire stream, so I'm gonna try not to, or I haven't really swore this entire stream that I can recall. But I was in a situation where I was really deeply betrayed by the department chair at a college I was teaching at. And everybody told my friends, like, this just happened. This just happened. Everybody looked the other way. Everybody looked the other way. And I kept saying something that I've heard a lot of folks in this space say when they've come up against it. I am alone. I am completely alone. And my version of it also was, not only did I say that, I said, nobody has my back. And my best friend after my wife, Lauren, tried to give me a hug at the studio, and I was just like sitting there kind of in shock. And I shook him off. I was like, don't. I said, get the F off me, dude. No. If you've ever been so disappointed, so angry, and felt so alone, you were just like, get away from me. To anyone. Like, I am alone in this, and I can't even receive that right now. Just get away from me. It was really tough, man. It was really tough. And don't think for a minute that walking away from an 18-year career, full-time, health insurance, all of that stuff, if I came into this space still doing that job, I would have been fired or canceled. People would have come after me. Do you guys understand that? I didn't have the luxury of putting one foot on the dock and one foot in the boat and staying there indefinitely. It was all in or all out. And boy, am I glad I made the decision I made. I have no regrets about it. None. But that was so difficult, and it was difficult for my family, and it was difficult for me. And I will tell you this, guys. I am not entitled to anybody's support, but I will tell you this. I am becoming more and more comfortable saying I'm worthy of it. That's it. I'm worthy of this support because I definitely look back at the things I do, and I have the gratitude, the discipline, the work ethic, but I have stood on principle when nobody was looking and when I was on my own. And that's important, man. You know? Lots of stuff comes up whenever I talk about that. It was tough, guys. It was really tough. But it was not enough for me. Weirdly, the stuff that made me appreciate it was I actually do a better job of tolerating it, stuff like that happening to me, than I do of watching it happen to other people. And I've worked on that a lot. You know, I've worked on that a lot. But that's a big part of our evolution. I loved teaching. I loved helping people. I really thought we could make a difference. And when I saw that an ideology of hatred and an ideology of destruction and nihilism had so seized this profession that I love that it was impossible to change, it was devastating. But you have to do what you believe, man. Yeah. Never to suffer, would never to have been blessed. Amen, Mark. 100%. Good for you, dude. Better you hold on to your values rather than go with the flow. Yeah, you know, and I think if for big things you got to pay the price. I understand. Great job, Sean. Being honest requires you taking slings and arrows. Yeah, you got to. It's you know, and I've found the folks who are like that, you know, here that know what I'm talking about. I want to live surrounded by beauty, not steel and glass boxes. Amen. Yeah, I had a similar experience just recently, but it was only 11 years. It's still a lot of time, man, and I salute you, dude. Those are tough things. You know, stay strong and keep bringing that beauty into your life. That's what it's about. At some point, I found I couldn't stand being around people who didn't get it, how important things like art are to our culture. Yep, I'm married to an amazing person who gets it, man. You know, ride or die, John. I get it, bro. Thank you, Cranberry Langers. Elijah stood up to Jezebel and Baal, and it was just him with God. With God, you're never alone. Aim. You know, that's another thing I want to definitely bring up. That was, without that, none of this would be happening in terms of, I mean, my true realization like that. I really knew that. At a certain point, it's like I opened up and really knew that, and it was, all of this has flowed out of that. The story of Nosfero reflects that, because it was being written when that happened, and I went, this is what it's about. This is what it's about, you know, and this is what the story is, you know, and it's craziness. It's absolute craziness when that stuff happens, man. You just sort of feel no comment. Yeah. Yeah, where's our Colosseum, our Parthenon? 100% agree. Yeah, fine, Sean. Listen to this when you get a chance. I will. I absolutely will. You'll understand. I know I will. Yeah. God bless you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic, and it's my pleasure to be here and hopefully put something positive out there that, you know, when you go to sleep, you're like going, yeah, man, there are some truly negative things out there, and it's crazy not to be aware of that. But guys, do not ever let yourself think, do not ever get, and I know you don't, I know you guys understand this, but never grant yourself the luxury of realizing there are some truly exceptional people out there who humble me when I hear their stories of adversity and overcoming things and the things they've brought into this world, and give nihilism no quarter. You know, fix your focus on people like that, on beautiful works of art, of people who've overcome trials to deliver beauty to the masses, to give rights to people who didn't have them, and not to take rights away from people who had them. All of those things, guys, those should be your fuel. They're a much better fuel than resentment. Resentment burns out the engine. It destroys the thing that it's being used to fuel. Don't let that happen. You know, keep your light shining bright and make beauty out in this world. Not much, Rocky. Me being nuts. Nothing you haven't heard in 20 years being friends, man. JWK creates, hey, Shanth and gang, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, my friend. It's great to have you in the chat. Welcome. Make sure you are subscribed and make sure you hit that like button. Every bit helps us get positivity out to more people. And that's ultimately what this channel is about. This channel is about, I don't know what seeing someone paint artwork might do for somebody. Somebody could be laying in a hospital bed. Somebody could have been waiting to see a comic book like one of the ones I'm illustrating, or like my book, and say, I need this. This will help me through my day. The same way I was when I was cutting out the RoboCop movie poster from the newspaper the first day it was printed out. It was big enough. I put it in a comic book bag and board. I was so inspired by that piece of artwork. You never know what you can do sharing this stuff out there. And that's what it's about. Why is everyone crying in your chat, Sean? I don't know. It's just the way I am. I have that effect on women and men. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. John F. Kennedy. Amen. Amen. Yeah. Yes, indeed, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Every time my daughter or my wife would be upset and come to me crying for a hug, I'd give them a hug and I think, man, I seem to have this effect on people. Yeah. Yep. Said be right back about 30 minutes ago. You know how it is, guys. You know how it is. Yeah. It's, so many amazing things out there, so many incredible folks out there. Let's just keep shining a light on them, guys. You guys make this stuff possible. I can do this only with your help and with God's help. That's the only way I can do this. If I don't have God's help, I can't do it. And if I don't have you guys' support, it's just not possible. And for me, you know, all of these things are a miracle, and I appreciate them every day, man. Yeah, it's because I haven't eaten yet. That's totally what it is. There's no food going to my brain. Yeah, that's the secret, man. That's the secret to everything. Gosh, yeah, I have got to eat. I think I've had one piece of beef jerky today. It's 7:40. My God, I've got to do something about that. But yeah, you know how it goes with me. Damn, I'm gonna have to pray a lot more. Yeah, enough is as good as a feast, as they say, right? Yeah, it's. I mean, I've been at this art thing for a long time, and I've been looking at artwork. I mean, for such a long time, and I still am no closer to understanding those amazing works of art that inspire me so much, because some things are just magic, man. Some things are just magic, and that's what I get from this stuff. That's what I get from this space, you know. And you guys are awesome, you know. Thank you so much, Cranberry Langers. I appreciate it, man. You guys are the best. You guys crack me up. Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here and for supporting everything I do. I'm going to keep grinding away. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to get something to eat now. We're about 2 hours. That's a decent stream. And I appreciate you guys, man. Just keep going. You know, JWK Creates. That's right. By the way, this is your old fan buddy, Justin Kingston. How are you doing, brother, from Rhode Island? Changed my username when I started making art videos. I love it, man. I love it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, man. Glad to have you here, brother. Keep kicking ass. Keep making artwork. That's what we do. See, now you got me swearing, but that's all right. You know me. I think I went and came and talked to your Cub Scout troop once, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to remember, man. I appreciate you, Duck Bacon. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, guys. I'm going to go get some food because I'm feeling it right now. Thank you to all my channel members. I updated the credits, so if you're a channel member, your name will appear in the credits. So make sure you watch it, guys, and enjoy it and know how grateful I am for all of you guys. We're going to keep getting it done. Yes, indeed, John. I could not have said it better, man. Yep. Take care, everybody. I will see you guys soon. As I always like to say, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace, because that is what Shanth means. I appreciate you guys so much. Take care. And these credits are for you guys.